Cardano could be coming into its max pain as the bad news continues to flow through for ADA, but it's not all bad. There is some good news mixed in with the bad, but as a market is down, the bad news tends to shine brighter or darker, whichever way you want to look at that. So in this video, we're going to look at ADA and also check out a partnership with a Metaverse project as well. So stick around for that in the video. We're going to look at ADA, the news, the good, the bad, and then of course the chart. So make sure you've smashed, touched, gentle, whatever you want to do to the like button, subscribe to the channel, bell notification icon so you see the content pop up, and of course follow us on the links down below. Black Friday specials coming out for the premium and of course Patreon to learn more about trading cryptocurrencies as I do in the videos here. There's also a free newsletter coming out today. So if you get on board early enough, you'll get that free newsletter. It's once every 2 weeks covering a lot of ground there. So drop your details down below. Let's crack on. I'm going to start with the dominance chart because we're starting to break down from the 50%. So this is just the way I look at charts. I love using the 50% level. Now, if we take log off, you can see that it is an evenly distributed, half at the top, half at the bottom. 50% kind of acts like a moving average, but this is again extension. So we look at the 50% as possible support or resistance. So if we start to break down, or we continue to break down as we currently are, we're at 2.27% of the overall cryptocurrency market cap dominance. This is just for ADA. The next levels of support I'm looking for around that 1.9 to 2% level. And beneath that, we're at around 1.2 to 1.5% dominance. So I like when these things line up with the other charts because that just brings together some confluence between the different assets. We look at the dominance, so this is ADA against everything, all cryptocurrencies. We look at ADA versus USD and ADA versus Bitcoin, and then also ADA versus ETH as well, which we'll check out a little later. So this is still in a downtrend, and this is what happens when markets start to fall. You see a downtrend. I don't want to be catching a falling knife, so I want to see some support levels come in before I start to repurchase some more ADA. Now, this is going to be different in everyone's portfolio. Some people just see this as a trade. Some people see it as a long-term investment. If you don't understand the difference, investment is generally a longer period, whereas a trade is you just want to get in and out, make your 10x, 20x, 100x, whatever it is, and then move those profits into something else, which a lot of you have done. Thanks for commenting down below. You're moving your profits out near the tops because this was part of your trading portfolio. Maybe you have some investing portfolio because you stake your ADA in the Investor Accelerator pool. And so from that, you could be selling out, and some of you are putting it into AVAX, CRO, SOL, all those sort of things which were actually moving, whereas Cardano was on the way down. After the news event, which we looked at into the smart contracts, and now we're continuing down until the damn smart contracts, if Charles gets his acts together, get those to work with the front end. So it's there, nothing's working with the front end. That's going to come in time, and it will eventually come. It just seems like Charles is enjoying being on YouTube a little more than getting the work done. Now I'm throwing some shade there. This is all YouTube. Obviously, he's got a lot of work to do, probably more than I do. So while Charles is out there making the world work better for all, you can stake your ADA with the Investor Accelerator pool. A link to this will be in the description down below. Check it out. All of the official links are down there so that you can follow along and learn how to do that yourself. Also, like I said earlier on, the link to the Investor Accelerator, the free newsletter down below, the Black Friday specials are coming out. So make sure you drop your name and email in there. You'll get that all posted out to you this week. Now let's check out the ADA news, the good, the bad, the ugly. And this is just looking at Google, eTORO delisting ADA. So this has just come out 16 hours ago on the eTORO website. Important update regarding ADA. Now I'm checking this specifically here because I want to know the timing. So this might be about 17 hours now. An hour was on Cointelegraph, 3 hours ago. It came out on Block Crypto, all good websites. 7 hours ago, News BTC. And then also 4 hours ago. So these are some of the biggest listings here because it's on Google. But the initial announcement came out on eTORO because it's about eTORO about 16 hours ago. And that's going to be important when we look at the chart to see whether this news has had a dramatic impact as big as what the FUD is talking about, or if this is just part of the downtrend. Because the news doesn't make the cycle. The news is just part of the cycle. The cycle is the leader here. And we could see that the trend was already down. So this just adds to the fire. But how much gas has it poured onto the fire? This is the article here. Block eTORO delist ADA, TRX, for users over regulatory concerns. So this is for the US users, and the official announcement here from eTORO. We're only limiting users from opening new positions. We are not forcing users to sell any existing positions. It's not overly concerning at this point, especially when eToro's total volume is only about $40 million from their cryptocurrency trading. And Cardano makes up a good chunk of that. They want to keep ADA on there, of course, because that's where they're going to get their fees from. So ADA makes up about 11.5 million. So as I said earlier on, sounds like bad news, but you could almost balance these two views out, because Bitstamp has some good news where for ADA that they're finally listing ADA on Bitstamp to get some trading volume over there as well. So if I look at the official news announcement here, this is from Bitstamp. This is about 5 days ago. So on the 19th, we go across to Bitstamp to look at their volume. They trade about $500 million. And I'm just going to take some rough numbers here, looking at XRP as one of their trading volumes. Looking at XRP, it trades on the 24 hours around about 29 million and 12 million. So this is against USD and also Euro. So I'm using XRP because when I look at all the cryptocurrencies here, XRP and ADA pretty similar at the moment, around 50 billion and a $56 billion market cap. People like to trade these cryptos. It's about half the traded volume. So you've got 24-hour volume, ADA 1.4 billion, XRP 3.3 billion. Who cares about the project at the moment? This is just the traded volume. People are trading them to make money as they go up and down. They're not trying to hold, not all of them, they're trying to hold them to see what they do in the long run. A lot of traders don't give a flying F about what they do in the long run. They just want to make some money from the volatility of the assets. And the markets are a lot more volatile when there's a strong bull or a strong bear market in play. Of course, we're in a bull market at the moment. If I look at these numbers and I say, all right, well, maybe ADA is going to be half, maybe a little less of the traded volume as XRP, because that seems to be the general trend over the market. Here we look at XRP. The total volume is about $42 million. This is for the USD and the Euro pair. Let's just say it's only the Euro pair. Only the USD pair, 30 million. So half that's 15. A little less, 12, 11. Well, we go back to what ADA was trading on eTORO, and that's about at 11.5 million. So this is huge guesses, but maybe ADA will trade about the same on Bitstamp. So maybe it's not going to be as much of a big deal when this actually gets up and running. Maybe it's a short-term thing. Overall, fundamentally, nothing has changed with ADA. We know that it's waiting on these smart contracts to work with the front end so projects can actually build on it. When that happens, maybe we'll start to see a lot more flow into ADA and the price start to skyrocket. All the naysayers that have dumped it will eventually jump back on board too late, and the cycle repeats itself. It's pretty boring when you see it at the end of the day. This goes for all assets. When you can start to see the cycle, it's the same thing over and over again. People hate it, they get bored with it, they dump it, they move on to something else, which is usually at a top that's already run, and they just shuffle around, buy tops, sell bottoms. A lot of you guys don't seem like you're in that boat because you're getting out of these things early or at the tops and then finding something else to trade into. So that's a really good sign that you're starting to get the feel for what these cycles are doing. Speaking of cycles, we know that metaverses are killing it in this cycle. This is today's sponsor, DeHub. So they aim to be the blockchain's first all-encompassing, highly rewarding, ever-growing lifestyle and entertainment aggregator. What the hell does all that mean? Essentially, they're trying to bring everything together so that you can be paid to do things online. Watch different TV shows, like if you're watching YouTube, maybe you'll be getting paid rather than the creator getting paid as well. Play something, you get paid. Shopping, you get paid. And that's just going to be part of the ecosystem. So whoever has the best tokenomics when it comes to this sort of ecosystem will probably draw more of the people through. That's getting a little bit ahead of myself at this point because at the end of the day, this is just starting. The nice thing when these projects just start is that they are not listed on massive exchanges. So it's going to take some work to get into these things. I'll leave a link to DeHub in the description down below if you want to learn more about it. I will note, as we do a lot on charts here, Altcoin Daily has covered DeHub, and this was on November 20th. Note the pricing here. We are down from these highs, and the peak highs was at around the date of that video, Sunday 21st. We reached a high of about 6.5 cents. That gave us a market cap of around $200 million. And you guys, which you should know from watching the channel, clearly we're in a downtrend. So the next support levels are at around 50 to 70 million market cap, and then beneath that are around 20 to about $40 million market cap. So keep that in mind. I am not talking about a buy recommendation, but in terms of a project and what it's trying to build out during this stage of the market when the cycles are, the fundamentals are all about metaverses and how these things can pay people to be included in the metaverse, it could be something to keep on the watch list. Now, updating the pricing of ADA against the US dollar, Bitcoin, and Ethereum after this news of the delisting on eTORO. Note, earlier on, we were looking at the timing of all of these news articles coming out. ADA USD, this is the eTORO delist ADA news announcement. You can see it's pretty hefty, but I have done something cheeky here and put it on an hourly chart. So it's about perspective. When we look at this thing, we go onto a weekly chart. If it's an investment, remember, difference between investment and trading, you can see that it's nearly negligible on the chart here. So it came into play, well, the news announcement was at around $1.80. Now we're sitting at around $1.74. Maybe when you watch this video, we're at $1.60. But the whole time here, we've been in a downtrend, and the support levels, the next support levels we're looking for are around the $1.50 to that $1.80 level. And of course, we're under the $1.80 now, so we're in that zone of potentially forming another base. Now, I'm not saying that we're there yet, but if this was such big news, we should have seen the price fall even further. Now, I've gone through my thoughts, of course, on the volumes that were actually being traded on eTORO compared to the next new listing on Bitstamp and everything else that's going on in the space, which we've covered many times on the channel. So make sure you liked and subscribe to the channel to be updated with this content. And it doesn't seem like it's playing out too much in the price at the moment. Let's look at Bitcoin and ADA and the same sort of deal. This is very similar to the dominance chart. Not much is happening here, but it is under the 50%, so it's a bit weaker. It's under the trend line, the uptrend, which it had put in throughout this bull market. So again, that's weaker. So I'm looking for my next levels, as we've talked about before, between that 2,000 and 2,500 Satoshis. So I think we'll probably come down to that point, unless ADA does something crazy and then jumps back above the 50%. That's going to be a little more strength for ADA against BTC. And then ADA, Ethereum is probably the weakest here because Ethereum has been going on a pretty strong run of late. It's just attempting to break down through those lows of 0.00038. We're sitting at that 0.0004 right now, and then the next levels down are at that 0.003. So that's what we have to look forward to at the moment for ADA and ETH. Buying and selling ADA is going to come down to your outlook. Is it a trade for short-term gains, or is it a long-term investment? If it is a long-term investment, check out the Investor Accelerator staking pool. Link to that is down below. How to get your ADA in there to earn your passive income. If it's a trade, then these are the levels that I'm watching across USD, BTC, ETH, and the dominance pairs. It looks like there is still some further downside to go. Remember, this is your Hopium-free channel. If you want more information in the Hopium-free space in cryptocurrency and investing, check out the email newsletter. It's all free, comes out once every 2 weeks, and the Black Friday specials will be on there too. That is in the description down below. I'll see you guys very soon. Check you at the next video. Like, share, subscribe. Until then, have more fun to get more done.